Okay, so we learned the how-to on customary system conversions. Now we're going to learn part 2, reading it from a word problem and going from there. So here's our first word problem. Remember that we need to use nosy. So, one of the largest watermelons ever grown weighed about 1/4 of a ton. How many pounds did the watermelon weigh? Okay, so most important, we have 1/4 of a ton, and we want to know how many pounds. Okay, so word ratio, what am I using here? I'm using pounds and tons. Okay, more specifically, I know that I'm using 1/4 ton, and I want to know how many pounds that is. So I'm going to go over to my star chart, and on my star chart, I am going to find that I have 1 ton, and that equals, sorry, I have pounds on top. I have 1 ton, and that equals 2,000 pounds. That's what I know. Equals, what am I trying to find? Here. This is what I'm trying to find. Remember how we converted our fraction to a decimal? We're going to do the same thing. Okay? We're going to convert this fraction to a decimal. So I have 1/4. My denominator needs to be 10 or 100, so I'm going to multiply times 25. Times 25, that gives me 25 over 100. I take the digits in my numerator, and those become the digits in my decimal. Okay, so that means that I have 25 hundredths of a ton equals X pounds. That's what I'm looking for. Don't forget about your diagonals. We have diagonal here and a diagonal here. Okay, you're going to multiply your diagonals, so I have 2,000 times 25 hundredths equals 1 times X. 1 times X is X. Come off to the side and multiply this out, and press play when you have finished. Okay, so when you multiply this out and put the decimal back in, you should have gotten 500. What are we searching for? We're searching for pounds. Box your answer. If you didn't get that, go ahead and take this time to press pause and look at my work and see where your mistake was. Let's move to the next word problem. The next word problem says, Clara is training for a 5K by jogging 1.2 miles every other day. How many feet does she jog every other day? Okay, so this has a number in it. It has this number of 5K. We've got to be able to recognize that that number is not important to us. Okay, let's write our word ratio. What are we comparing? We're comparing feet to miles. Okay, so we're going to go over to the what we know. What we know is how many feet are in a mile. We're going to look at our star chart. Our star chart says that there is 1 yard for every 3 feet, 1,760 yards for every 1 mile. Okay, so it doesn't take us straight from feet to yard. So it's a 2-step problem. So step 1 is that we have 1 yard for every 3 feet. Okay? So I want to know how many 1 mile is. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to take this fact right here, and I'm going to say that I have this many in 1 mile. And because it takes 3 feet to get to 1 yard, I'm going to multiply this many yards for my total sorry, I can't speak, my total feet for this situation. So I'm going to soon learn, and this is something I'm going to memorize, that for every 3 yards, I get 1,000 or 5,280. I did that because I know that I multiplied by 3, and that's 3 yards. Okay, so what you need to know right now is you don't need to know the math of that. We'll explain that tomorrow in class, but know that 5,280 is what we're going off of. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up what we know. What we know is that 5,280 feet are in 1 mile. Again, we're going to show you that calculation tomorrow in class. Equals, I am looking for how many feet. So X feet over, how many miles do I have? 1.2 miles. And I solve. Solving for X. I would like you to finish this problem on your own right here. And then I would like you to complete this last problem. Remember, if you have questions of confusion, please write them down here, or do not forget to write a problem for your table to solve.